Alright, so if you have any involvement in the occult, you have probably heard of the Golden Dawn. And if you haven't, well, then you've probably been living underneath a rock. And if you have heard of the Golden Dawn, you've probably heard of the individual known as Israel Regardie. Regardie is responsible for publishing much of the Golden Dawn material, which one particular ritual will be the purpose of this video, that being the Solar Adorations. I will put my website down in the description below where you can find the bookshelf pages on my website where the book, The 1 Year Manual, can be found, as well as others that I recommend on various subjects. So we know that ancient cultures recognized the importance of synchronizing with the universal cycles. These included the seasonal cycle, the lunar cycle, and the solar cycle, with each having its own significance. All cycles were linked to and influenced by agricultural practices, religious festivals, and overall daily life. However, the cycle that pertains to this video is that of the solar cycle, and is one that is tied to our everyday life. Now, the sun plays a pivotal role in our life, even if we deny it. When the sun rises in the sky and we get the first rays of sunlight, our body begins producing a hormone known as serotonin. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter that helps to stabilize your mood and your overall happiness. When we have low levels of serotonin, it can lead to emotional disorders. Just as serotonin is produced in the morning as we get our first rays of sunlight, as the sun sets, our body produces melatonin. Melatonin is a hormone that regulates our sleep, and its production increases the further the sun goes down. This in turn signals to us that it's time for bed, and we naturally get sleepy. Now, in our modern culture, we have removed ourselves from this cycle that our ancestors understood the importance of. We are now exposed to what is known as blue light that mimics daylight and tricks our brain into thinking that the sun is still in the sky. With the invention of electronics, such as phones, computers, and televisions, we have effectively diminished our connection to the solar cycle. Just my opinion, as I am not a doctor, but with just a basic understanding of how these two hormones work, I can begin to see why we have so many people with chemical imbalances that require medications. But now to get back on track with the four solar adorations. In the original version that Regardie released, you see the mention of Egyptian deities. What I want to share is a recreated version of the four solar adorations aimed towards Helios. To get started with this, I want to explain that there are four barbarous names mentioned in this rite. Each of the names is associated with Helios at different aspects of the day. These names are taken directly from the Greek Magical Papyri, or the PGM for short, and I will share with you and explain where you can find the original text. So, getting started, the names come from PGM 264-183 and PGM 1214-95. The names have become popular over the last few years, and you can find mention of them in Stephen Flower's book Hermetic Magic, on the blog digitalambler.com, and in some recent work by Jason Newcomb. The first name, being Ervis, is described as a winged dragon with the crown of clouds rising above the horizon. The second name is Lethexanax, and is described as a falcon with wings fully outstretched, wreathed in the fire of the sun. The third name is Avlanathanalva, and is described as a crocodile with the tail of a snake arising from the waters. And the fourth name is Sesingenfafarangis, and is described as an infant child sitting on top of a lotus flower. Now, each of these names is attributed to a cardinal direction, just as the sun is during different parts of the day. So in the east, at dawn, the name for Helios is Ervith. At noon, in the south, the name for Helios is Lethexanax. As the sun goes down in the west, the name for Helios is Avlanatanalva. Lastly, in the north, at midnight, the name for Helios is Sesingenfafarangis. Now, before I get into the actual adorations, let me explain how they should be done. The first adoration should be done facing east as you wake from sleep in the morning. If you can do it facing the rising sun, the better. The second adoration should be done at noon while facing south, and if you can do it outdoors in the sun, the better. The third adoration should be done at sunset while facing west, and like the others, if you can see the sun, the better. The final adoration should be done before you go to bed while facing north, or if you find yourself awake in the middle of the night, at midnight. If you have a schedule that does not allow you to stop throughout the day at specific times, then alternatively, you could perform them all in the morning, or the morning and noon adoration in the morning, and the evening and night adoration before bed. It's really up to you and what your schedule allows you to do. Each adoration will require 5 gestures that are done during the prayer, and I will describe each one as we get to it. So now let's get started with the adorations. If you skipped the first part of the video for this, well, here you go. In the morning, while facing the east and the rising sun, bring both your hands together, palms outward, away from you, directly above your head, with your index, fingers, and thumbs touching, forming an upward triangle between your two hands. Reciting, Hail and adoration unto thee, Helios, who are Ervis in thy rising, in the form of a winged dragon, I pray thee to impart to me thy illumination. Keeping your hands forming a triangle as before, bring them before your face, with your palms still facing outwards, and recite, In thy strength enlighten my mind, that I may perceive more clearly all things in which I endeavor. With your hands still forming the triangle as before, bring them before your solar plexus, with your palms still facing outward, and recite, Illuminate my soul, imparting thy essence of purity. Bring your hands down in front of you with your palms facing upward towards the sky, and touch your fingertips together at your navel and recite, At the uprising of the sun, I reveal my inner self to thee. Now open your arms outward with palms up and recite, and ask that all be cleansed and purified within. Now the hand gestures remain the same for all 4 solar adorations. So at noon, face the south and the sun, bringing both hands together, palms outward, forming the triangle of manifestation, and recite, Hail and adoration unto thee, Helios, who are Lethexanox in thy triumphing, in the form of a great falcon, I pray thee to impart to me thy illumination. With your hands still forming a triangle, bring them before your face with your palms outward, and recite, In thy beauty enlighten my mind, that I may perceive more clearly all things in which I endeavor. With your hands still forming the triangle, bring them before your solar plexus, with your palms outwards, and recite, Illuminate my soul, imparting thy essence of purity. Now bring your hands down in front of you with your palms upward, and touch your fingertips together at your navel, and recite, At the mid-course of the sun, I reveal my inner self unto thee. Now open your arms outward with your palms up, and recite, and ask that all be cleansed and purified within. And now for the sunset adoration, face the west and the setting sun. Bring your hands together, forming a triangle as before, and recite, Hail and adoration unto thee, Helios, who are Avlanatanalva in thy setting, in the form of a snake-tailed crocodile, I pray thee to impart to me thy illumination. Bring your hands, still forming a triangle, before your face with your palms outwards, and recite, In thy joy enlighten my mind, that I may perceive more clearly all things in which I endeavor. Still forming a triangle, bring your hands towards your solar plexus, palms outward, and recite, "Illuminate my soul, imparting thy essence of purity." Bring your hands down in front of you with your palms facing upwards and your fingertips touching, and recite, "At the setting of the sun, I reveal my inner self unto thee." Now open your arms outward with palms up and recite, "And ask that all be cleansed and purified within." Lastly, at midnight or before you retire for the day, face the north, using the same hand gesture, forming a triangle with your hands above your head. Recite, "Hail in adoration unto thee, Helios, who are Zestingen Bafarangis, in thy hiding, in the form of a child seated upon a lotus. I pray thee to impart to me thy illumination." Bringing your hands before your face, recite, "In thy silence enlighten my mind, that I may perceive more clearly all things in which I endeavor." With your hands still forming a triangle, bring them before your solar plexus and recite, "Illuminate my soul, imparting thy essence of purity." Bringing your hands down in front of you with your palms upwards and your fingertips touching, recite, "At the midnight hour of the sun, I reveal my inner self unto thee." Now opening your arms outwards with your palms up, recite, "And ask that all be cleansed and purified within." That's the end of the adorations, and you can find the written prayers on my website with the pronunciation guide for the names as well. If you like these and put them to practice, let me know how they work for you. I've also started bookshelf pages on my website where you can see books that I have in my possession in various topics and links to them as well on Amazon. Also, a quick reminder that there is a Discord server and Facebook group that anyone can join, and you can find the links to them in my link tree or on my website, echoesfromthetemple.com. So until next time, Salate.